Hey, welcome back to the weekly dance tutorials. I have a special guest. I have two special guests today. We got Devin right over here. We got Noah right over here.
What up?
These are my star pupils because they're like super new.
Star pupil? Like semi-star pupil.
You haven't seen me dance.
Yeah, I have.
All right, anyway, today we're going to be learning about line transitions. So this was a request from Danez, and he's one of my patrons. So he asked, how do we transition our lines? So I actually did a private lesson with him, and I taught him about how lines exist on your body and outside of your body too. So what lines are is just exactly what it sounds like. It could be a shape that you make with your arms, right? Lines. Or it could be lines that you draw, right? Invisible lines. So there's imaginary lines, and there's also physical, like actual lines that are on you. For example, a transition would be going from this place to another place. And that point A and point B, let's just to keep it simple, right? It could be a physical place, or it could be an idea that goes from this idea to another idea, right? It doesn't have to actually move away from the place, but usually for dancing, you're moving all the time, right? So for example, here's a transition. Boop, boop. That's a transition. And the line is like this. It's a straight line, right? So here, let's make up a move. So over here, let's do this. We got our hands over here. All right. I want you guys to go whoosh, like there's a little ball right here. Okay, just create a ball. It's gonna look a little silly because there's no context. It's just, we're just creating a ball. All right, and then check this out. Throw it up, and your head transitions that move over to this side. So that's like super basic transitions, right? Another thing you can do, let's say you have a line here, and then you have a line here, okay? A transition for this idea would be to go like this. Boom, boom. See that? Super simple. Now here's the thing. This is point A, and point B was over here, right? So now how many different ways can you transition from this line to this line where you're flipping it, right? You could be like boom, boom. Or you could be like boom, boom, boom. Like it doesn't matter, right? So the way that you transition actually gives you more access to different moves. But the moves could be the same, if that makes sense. Because point A and point B can never change, right? If you don't want it to. So for example, if I did something like right here, right? This is point A and this is point B. Okay, so using my lines, I have a straight line going up here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move my wrist up and then move this up, move this out, move this out, and then open it. Bam, and we have successfully transitioned from A to B. Does that make sense? So let's do a different transition. Let's just have our hands. Let's do a right hand over our heart. Very, very symbolic.
Very American.
Right? But check it out. We're gonna go from the Pledge of Allegiance to hip hop. See that?
Ooh.
So we start here. This is point A. This is point B. Ready? Bam. You got that?
No. What if we watch Devin do it?
Yeah, let's watch. Let's put him on the spot.
Okay.
Go for it. Where was point A?
Right here.
Yes.
And then.
Nice. So that right there, it's called a trace wave, right? Because you're tracing the wave. So a wave is like this, right? That's one thing, right? And the line that you're going on is from here, and you're making that like half circle, right? That's a line. So for example, if I wanted to do a transition like this, but a different way to transition to this would be going straight across. It's the same move, but the transition is slightly altered. Like the path is usually curved, but you can alter the path to a straight line. You could even go up, right, forward. You could even turn your body and pass it on to to your friend. You could pass it on to your friend, like that. Here, let's do an exercise, okay? We gotta take advantage of having multiple people in the room. So I'll start off by, pledge of allegiance. Pass it over to this guy. Where are you gonna take it?
Over to Noah.
Oh, and then I'm gonna try to do this, and then I'm
See-
gonna poke you.
See, he's got a unique arm because he doesn't even do what we're doing.
I can't.
He's got a wobbly
I feel like I have
So-
frozen shoulder. That's what.
But
I feel
that's
like I
okay.
have.
That's what makes you unique. See, that's the key to dance, is to do what naturally comes to you.
That is true.
And he's gonna be the guy that stands out from the rest of the crowd. You're 1 in a million, dude. So, because he's over here being creative with his arms already, and we're like, we're all basic
We're
and
just following
trying
the
to do,
rules.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
This guy's breaking the rules.
Unbelievable.
But anyway, so here's another example of a line transition that you can do. So we've been working on lines on our bodies, right? So now let's imagine for a second a line that's going from here to here, right? So what things can you do to get something from your body from here to here? It could be,
Your body.
yeah, so it could be with your shoulders. For example, you can just go, you can just roll your shoulders forward, boom, turn it like that. You see how it goes here,
Yeah.
side, and then back. You're using that line to move along, if that makes sense. Like, you're not making the lines with your body, you're doing the movement along that line. So for example, here, I'll turn to just exaggerate it a little bit. So if I had my shoulder here, the line's here, right? But it could also be moved like closer to you or further from you. So I'm gonna just leave the line right here, right in line with these guys. I'm gonna go boom, 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 whatever. You see how I'm dancing on that line?
Yeah.
So you could do hundreds of moves just using this as a guide, right? It doesn't have to be perfect because you want it to be open for creativity. You don't want it to just limit it just to, okay, I only have to go in a straight line, because then otherwise it would just look like this, or whatever. But you want to be able to like move your arm into it, move your legs into it. Like you could move this line and lower it to here, so you could be like boom, boom. See how my leg is just doing a left right movement, but you see how I transition this line to this line, right? And the way you just do that is like you just decide. So you decide, okay, I'm gonna establish the invisible line here, but then how will the audience know that? You have to actually draw it out and dance it out or whatever. Use that movement. And then the transition, which is what I did earlier, which is I just smacked my arm down, right? That's just a simple way to transition something. And now it activates this line. And you could even show them, hey, look, there's a line, by using your arm. Or just, like, let's say if I didn't do that, you could still see it and I went, it's still there because of the way I transitioned it to there. Yeah, let's try that actually.
So would you say you're almost like creating a theme with geometrical shapes?
Oh yeah,
Kinda like-
for sure. Because lines in by nature is a part of geometry anyway, right? Because it's a point
Yeah.
to another point, right? And lines exist in nature. They exist everywhere in the universe. So that's why, like, when people say like, oh, I want to have cleaner lines, or I want to do transitions with lines, what does that actually mean? Well, you got to take it back to geometry and go, well, what is a line? It's point A and a point B, and the thing just connects, right? But obviously nowadays with art, you can change those lines and skew them. It doesn't have to be a straight line all the time. It could be a curved line, right? It could be multiple lines to make different shapes,
Yeah.
right? So
And that could be like your running theme, like for whatever you're doing.
exactly. So let me give you guys an exercise right now, okay? Let's do a simple line. We're gonna do a vertical one because we haven't done vertical lines yet.
Wow.
We've only been
Horizontal
doing
lines.
horizontal, right? So you gotta expand your mind, Here we go. So from up to down, okay? We're gonna go wave up, catch it up here, okay? and then we're gonna wiggle one down. Perfect. Wiggle the other one down. Boom. And then from here, we're gonna expand it. See that? So we did 2 lines. It's like an upside down T, right? So that's the line that we've just established. Now that you know that that's there, how many different ways can you do that? So from here, I want you to do your own version of going here and then here, and I want you to do your own version, right? So my version was just wiggling it down, open, open. It was like a right, left pattern. So you can do left, right, both, you know, whatever. So go ahead.
Noah first.
Let's see what you got, Noah.
All right, this is what I got.
Sick. Sick.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah, where's the line at?
Then I'm gonna try to come back.
Nice. And
And
then,
go down. And I'm gonna wiggle.
dude, that was sick.
Thanks.
See, I didn't even know.
boy.
I didn't even know he had that many moves in him, to be honest.
That was like.
But
one.
you did this whole thing where like you built it down and you were like very elaborate.
I
You
might
see?
have made a different shape, but I tried.
But either way, you had the idea in your head and it helped you build out like 10 different moves. You know what I mean? Just from one simple concept. So now we're gonna go over to Devin here and let's see what you got.
Alright, so I'm right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut this string. This one falls. Turn. This one attracts this one. Flip. Up.
that was art.
That was pretty good, but I kind of liked his. I kind of liked his better.
Honestly, mine sucked.
His-
No,
his-
yours was like a
pretty
Pixar
good.
film.
His
That
was
pretty dope.
his was like watching.
Noah's is like a Wes Anderson.
Dude, yeah.
Thanks.
They were both pretty good, right? But you see how something simple could turn into something, they could split completely different way, right? So yeah, that is something that you should definitely keep in mind when you're doing transitions, is that you can go to point A, point B, however you want, right? You could be like, woo, right? But as long as you establish those areas first, right? Whether they be physical points or conceptual points, right? Meaning that, like, let's say it's a ball, now it's not a ball, but that's still a transition, you know, going from this move to something like sharp to like wiggly. That was a line transition to something else. But notice I stayed in the same spot. But anyway, 2 different ways to transition is the physical transition or the conceptual. And then another thing that you want to look out for is the many different ways you can go from point A to point B. So the variation. I would say start off with something simple, like simple lines first, like horizontal, vertical, diagonal, whatever. Like start off with very basic lines and work your way into more advanced concepts like shapes, like a square, that's 4 lines. You know, or even a circle or a triangle or a freaking vortex, like whatever you want to do. There's a lot of complex shapes in this world, but just start off with the basics, you know, and work your way up. So there you have it. Those are line transitions. And if you have any more questions, feel free to direct message me on Instagram at can.poriotics. I'm gonna plug these guys in right over here. You can see their Instagram.
If you want to see some amazing dancing, follow this guy.
If you want to see even better dancing, follow this guy. Oh my god.
You guys are pointing at each other, right?
I guess I'm pointing at both of you.
Oh.
How about that?
Okay, well, see you next time. Peace. Hopefully that recorded.